Welcome to our channel, where every day millions of bags of trash are hauled away and forgotten by most.
Us.
But sometimes hidden in the ordinary lies something extraordinary. This is the story of Marvin, a garbage man who found fortune where no one dared to look. It was an early morning in Baltimore. The dim glow of streetlights struggled to pierce the fog and drizzle. Rain lashed against the pavement, creating a melancholic rhythm that echoed the solitude of the deserted streets. In the distance, the faint chugging of a garbage truck cut through the silence. It moved slowly, methodically, its mechanical arm, a robotic arm outstretched. Reaching into the darkness to grasp yet another forgotten bag of trash. At the wheel sat Marvin, his weathered face etched with the lines of a life well lived. His eyes reflecting the soft glow of the dashboard as he navigated the rain-slicked roads. In the cramped cab of his truck, amidst the clutter of tools and half-eaten sandwiches, there was a quiet dignity, a sense of purpose that transcended the mundane task at hand. Each stop, each lift, each dump was a testament to his dedication, a silent choreography of duty and service. The relentless rhythm of the city slowly began to stir to life. The soft murmur of awakening streets, the distant hum of traffic, the melodic trill of birds, a counterpoint to the rhythmic chug of the truck. With each passing block, the weight of Marvin's daily ritual settled upon him, a heavy mantle of responsibility and quiet pride. As the sky began to lighten with the promise of dawn, so did Marvin's spirits. For in the daily grind, he found solace, and in the overlooked, he found meaning. A knock on the metal bin echoed through the misty morning, sound as familiar to Marvin as his own heartbeat. He'd heard it countless times before, a soundtrack to his life, yet today it carried a different tune, an unexpected note that broke the monotony of his routine. Perched atop the bin was a brightly colored piece of paper, fluttering slightly in the breeze, a splash of color in a sea of gray. Intrigued, Marvin leaned closer. The rain had stopped, leaving behind a world washed clean and glistening. The air was thick with the smell of wet asphalt and distant wood smoke, a comforting aroma that spoke of hearth and home. As Marvin reached out to retrieve the scrap of paper, a smile touched his lips. A lifetime of collecting trash had honed his instincts. This was no ordinary find. Marvin unfolded the damp paper, revealing a jumble of numbers and letters. It was a lottery ticket, a chance to escape the everyday, to dream of a life beyond the bins and back alleys. As he held the ticket in his calloused hands, he felt the weight of untold possibilities, the promise of dreams taking flight. But Marvin, a man grounded by duty and defined by his choices, didn't just toss the ticket into the hopper of fate. He tucked it carefully into his pocket, a secret held close, waiting for the moment to unfold. The hum of the engine blending with the distant clamor of the city as it awoke. Marvin continued his rounds, the lottery ticket a subtle reminder of dreams deferred and hopes nurtured. As the sun began its slow ascent, painting the sky in hues of gold. In crimson, Marvin's route took him past the familiar landmarks of his daily life. Each corner, each intersection, whispering tales of shared laughter, quiet moments and dreams once held. For here in the heart of the city, life was more than the sum of its parts. It was a tapestry woven with the threads of hope, resilience, and quiet determination. Marvin, the unassuming garbage collector, was its silent chronicler. The day wore on, each hour bringing its own challenges, from overflowing bins to unexpected encounters. But through it all, Marvin persevered, his steps steady, his resolve unwavering. And as the final chime of his shift echoed in the empty streets, the weight of the day settled upon him, not as a burden, but as a badge of honor, a testament to a life lived in service. In the overlooked and the underappreciated, as evening fell, Marvin found himself drawn to the quiet sanctuary of his living room, the day's grime washed away, replaced by the comforting clutter of his humble abode. The ticking of the clock on the wall seemed to synchronize with the beat of his heart. There was a worn simplicity to the room, a testament to a life of quiet dignity and hard work. Each piece of furniture bore silent witness to the countless stories that had unfolded within these four walls. Tales of struggle, perseverance, and quiet dreams. The television flickered to life, casting a soft glow on Marvin's face. His eyes, reflecting the soft light, held a depth of wisdom and experience, a lifetime of lessons learned on the streets of Baltimore. As the winning numbers were announced, Marvin's gaze intensified, a mix of curiosity and disbelief on his face. Each number called sent a jolt of excitement through him, a surge of anticipation that mingled with the hum of the television and the tick-tock of the clock. Then it hit him, the realization that the ticket tucked away in a corner of his mind, the one he'd almost dismissed, almost forgotten, held the key to this electrifying moment. With trembling hands, he pulled the crumpled ticket from his pocket, the flimsy piece of paper creased and worn. Under the harsh light of the television, the numbers danced, mirroring those on the screen, confirming what his gut had already told him. In that small, dimly lit room, amidst the quiet hum of the city, Marvin's life was about to change in ways he could never have imagined. As the shock of the wind began to fade, giving way to the stark reality of his situation, Marvin found himself at a crossroads. Surrounded by lawyers and financial advisors, he was bombarded with figures, percentages, and complex strategies, all vying for a piece of the pie. The enormity of the sum, $198 million, echoed in his ears, mocking his lack of preparedness, amplifying both the opportunities and the perils ahead. Amidst the flurry of advice, Marvin remained steadfast, his gaze fixed, his demeanor calm. He knew this windfall wasn't just about him. It was about the years of sacrifice, the dreams deferred, and the hopes that had been silently nurtured. With a deep breath, Marvin began to formulate his plan, a strategy not just for managing his newfound wealth, but for living a life true to himself. After careful consideration and legal counsel, it was confirmed. The ticket found in the trash was indeed a legitimate winner. The initial euphoria was tempered by the gravity of the situation. $198 million was not just a life-changing amount. It was a test, a challenge, and an opportunity. For Marvin, the steadfast garbage collector, the news spread like wildfire, transforming him from an anonymous figure into a local celebrity. Headlines blared, cameras flashed, and the community buzzed. It was overwhelming, yet oddly affirming. Each handshake, each word of congratulations, echoing the respect that had been quietly earned, brick by brick, bag by bag, over the years. Driven by a deep sense of purpose, Marvin decided to remain in Baltimore, the city he'd called home for so long. Mansion in the suburbs, or anonymity in a different state, were tempting options. But for Marvin, there was no place he'd rather be. This was his community, his people, his story. He made thoughtful investments, ensuring financial security without sacrificing his principles. A modest yet comfortable home in a quiet neighborhood became his sanctuary. It wasn't about luxury or ostentation, but about the comfort of familiarity and the warmth of community. The rest, as they say, is history. Years went by. The memory of the trash-winning lottery faded into local legend. Marvin continued to be Marvin, the friendly face in the neighborhood, always ready with a wave and a kind word. His story served as an inspiration, a beacon of hope in a city that knew its share of struggles. The house on Oak Street remained unchanged, a testament to Marvin's humility and love for his community. As for the money, it became a tool, not a crutch. Investments in local businesses, donations to shelters, and scholarships for underprivileged students became the norm. Marvin didn't seek recognition for his generosity, but the impact was profound. To the community, to those who knew him and those who admired him from afar, Marvin became a symbol of quiet strength, of integrity and kindness. One cool autumn evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the neighborhood, Marvin sat in his favorite chair. The lottery ticket, now framed and a bit faded, hung on the wall beside him. It was a constant reminder of the day everything changed, and the day, more importantly, it didn't. A contented sigh escaped his lips as he watched children playing in the street, their laughter echoing the joy he found in the simple things in life. The weight of his fortune was immeasurable, yet he carried it with the same quiet grace he'd shown on the day he won. For Marvin, it wasn't about the money. It was about the meaning, the difference he could make, the lives he could touch, the hope he could offer. As the years slipped by, Marvin's story continued to inspire. He proved that fortune, when found in the most unexpected of places, could be more than just money. It could be a chance to redefine dreams, to serve with purpose, and to live with integrity. For Marvin, the garbage man who won the lottery, life wasn't about the trash or the treasure. It was about the journey, the values, and the legacy he left behind. proving that true wealth lay not in the size of one's fortune, but in the depth of one's character.